Our next presenter is PhD Media with Sandy Eubank.
Hi, good morning. I'm Sandy Eubank. A number of you who've been to these conferences in the past have stopped me in the hallway and asked, where's Renee Cassard? Because she always presents the PhD case from GlaxoSmithKline. And this is, in fact, her work, and I am, in fact, presenting it for her. She is, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on your point of view, was unable to attend as she just had a baby 3 weeks ago. So very exciting. I only realized this morning I should have put a baby picture on this slide because, of course, baby pictures always win. But I neglected to do that, so we'll go with the strengths of the analysis. But it is Renee's work, working with a great team at PhD, and then our partners at a great client, GlaxoSmithKline, and our partners at our sister agency, Analect, who manages our tech stack, our data lake, our analytics utilities, and our activation platform. So a great partner in them as well. And this case is all about using behavioral data to drive performance in video. And the theme of ICOM 2016 is about making data more human. And we needed a great tool to do that, and that's what drives this case. And the tool that we had is our Agile Data Platform from our partners at Analect, which allows us to see a view of basically the entire internet every day, 500,000 users, crossed by 80,000 descriptive variables, so we can get a really deep, rich understanding of who they are, where they go, what they do, and how to connect with them. And includes also a DMP and pipes into multiple DSPs and unique analytic utilities. So a great tool to help drive our results. So as a little background, let's talk about the client. One of our largest clients, GlaxoSmithKline, had a huge event in 2015. They launched one of their biggest products ever, Flonase, which is an allergy remedy in a spray format, very important to them. It was the largest launch in the category with a $71 million video budget, 70% in linear TV, 30% in online video. It's a very crowded, that sounds big, but it's a very crowded category. If you go into a drugstore in the US, there are at least 250 different packages of allergy products on the shelf. It's quite overwhelming for the consumer. And that $71 million budget, while it sounds big, is actually a small share of category spending. And we had a great brand name, a great company, a great product, but working against us, consumers prefer to buy a tablet to treat their allergies, to just take a tablet and not to use a nasal spray. But we had a nasal spray, which has some benefits, but we're sort of working against consumer preferences, let's say. So given all that backdrop, of course, our client, no slouch, decided that their goal was going to be very aggressive, and they wanted to become the #1 allergy remedy brand in the United States by the end of 2015. So how did we do that? What we wanted to do was utilize data to achieve those objectives, utilize data to find a target that would be much more likely to respond and actually buy the product, and also use data to find ways to connect with that target in unique and open ways and more engaging ways. So the target that we started with, the client had done maybe a year and a half ago, very traditional situation if you're in an agency. The client had done a survey a year and a half ago that had a lot of attitudinal data that determined a target that was more likely to buy the product as identified by a variety of category beliefs and attitudinal preferences. So the first step was to bring that target into the DMP and the ADP so that we could really get a cleaner picture and activate against that target. I don't know how many of you have actually worked in a DMP and tried to translate a survey target into a DMP. I got a couple of hands, not very many. I can tell you that's not always a really simple task because there's some gaps and it's a little bit difficult to match up those client-specific, survey-specific custom ideas with all of even with the very rich database that we have. So the first kind of creative thing that we did is we did a second survey replicating the questions we needed to identify the client's target and tagging the respondents so that we created a seed pool within our DMP. So we could see them in the data lake, and then we had a seed pool, so then we could scale that target and create lookalike audiences of that initial target that the client had given us. Albeit it was based on claim data, we wanted to start there and be aligned with their approach. So we started there, but then the second thing we did is we set our launch campaigns with that initial target, but we immediately started monitoring, tracking engagement with the brand online that we could see who went to the site, who downloaded a coupon, who bought the product, so that we could evolve our understanding of who that target was and move from that initial claimed attitudinal target to a much more responsive target. And the second thing we did, you see on these circles on the other side, we micro-segmented that target. We created 27 different sub-segments of that highly propensive evolved target. And so what we found was they were unified by an interest in this allergy product, but they were divided by all their different passions. So there were golf lovers, there were pet lovers, there were gardeners. All those things might be related to allergies, but there were also socially conscious, politically involved, and so on. So there were very different types of people who were very interested in this product, so it gave us unique thoughts about how we could connect with them. So moving on to the results, obviously this is in our ADP, so this is primarily digital data, so the first place we looked was in the digital campaigns. So we had been running from the initial launch with best-in-class, generally proven, hardworking techniques like conquesting, like targeting former known allergy sufferers in syndicated data, targeting people who had done keyword and contextual searches. But when we targeted our people in our evolved target, that's the right-hand bar in the dark blue set, we got significantly stronger results with this evolved target than with any of those best-in-class techniques that otherwise would have been used. The light bars on the right are the micro-targets. What we see is that probably that stronger performance was connecting with them in those spaces that those people who had specific passions, we knew which media they up-indexed in from ComScore, and we knew where our competitors were and weren't running from Pathmatics. So we were able to zero in on engaging context for those people where we had white space where we could deliver our message and make it relevant and make it breakthrough for them. That tactic gave us about 8% higher engagement measured as video. This is all video completion rate data. And also, because of the way we were targeting, we were able to reduce the costs and save about 4% of the budget as well by this creative targeting. And that was confirmed by, the second thing we saw was that the second thing we saw in the ADP data was that the people who were in the evolved target were much older than had been in the survey target. In fact, they were about 10 years older. Now, that's a very simple thing, but in fact, we had made a massive TV buy with a younger demo. So we immediately, the first thing we did, we took this to TV. So we've married in the set-top box data as well. So we immediately re-optimized the buy that had already been made across all 46 GSK brands to maximize the delivery against this new behavioral target, giving us 10% more delivery in the television buy. And then we sent the buyers back into the market to renegotiate the guarantees on the TV buy, moving it to an older demo. And that saved us about $5 million. That's about 8% of their TV budget, which is pretty significant. So I just said we got 10% more on the TV buy for 5% less. Or 10% more for 8% less, excuse me. So really, really strong impact in offline television without even really doing an addressable buy. We were pretty proud of that. So in summary then, what we did is used a lot of real-time data insights. All of this happened in lightning speed. Within a few weeks, we were starting to see these patterns and doing the micro-segmentation and moving to change the TV optimization and to renegotiate the TV buy. The insights drove $5.4 million overall in savings, and the targeting drove 8% more engagement. It drove 1.6 times higher, 60% more purchasing in an Amazon program for e-commerce. There's not a lot of e-commerce in allergy remedies in the US, but we ran a small program on Amazon and we got 60% higher sales among the target, very impressive. And most importantly, the client had set this very aggressive goal. They achieved their year-end sales target within 6 months. And by the end of the year, they were 30% beyond their year-end sales target. And in fact, they were the #1 allergy remedy in 2015. Not all based on these programs, but based on strong work with this and other programs as well. Any questions?
Great. Thank you.